everybody. Welcome to the Have You Ever Played podcast, the only podcast where the hosts can't see each other. It's Matt, aka Matt Fondude here, and who am I with?
Yes, you're with James, aka James04E. Not that you can tell because you can't see my face.
Yeah, this
I could be
this
a
week, I
fraud.
mean, the listeners at home can never see us usually. I mean, if they can, then that's a concern.
How do they even know that
Uh
we're real?
That's true. We could. I don't want to get sidetracked immediately, but let me just end our little intro bit. I didn't plug in my camera, so we can't see each other this week. Um, but you say that, right? Listen, we're just gonna get right into it, James. Uh, I listened to a iceberg explained video about lost media today for 1.5. It was I listened to an hour and a half of it, and the host was like saying all these things, and throughout the video they were just like pronouncing things weird. Sometimes it would just be like uh the this man is in like a mountain or something. Like it would just be like weird things like
Mountain.
that. I'm like, that's strange. But I was like, okay, maybe they just don't know. Oh, like for instead of Grand Prix they kept saying Grand Prix, and I'm like,
Grand
okay,
Prix.
yeah, but maybe they don't know because some people don't know like colonel, which is it's spelled like
Colonel.
colonel. Yeah, but some people are like that. They just don't know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this guy's just an idiot. Um, then he said like an hour and 30 minutes in the video, he was saying like the band consisted of a guitarist, a person who played the guitar, a person who played the piano, and a person who played the bass. And I'm like, there's no
Oh
way.
no.
This guy's trolling. Like he can't. There's no way he would mix that up. So I look into the comments and I'm like, is anyone commenting about his horrible pronunciation? And then people are like, bro, this is like an AI voice. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I just listened to this video narrated by AI for an hour and a half, and I did not realize it was AI. I mean, after I realized, it was really noticeable, but for the like hour and a half of listening to it on the side, I genuinely couldn't tell.
Damn, you got
So,
rolled.
I mean, it was still like, good, but it is wild that every day it's getting better, and at this point, it was pretty much in like watching this video, it was indistinguishable to me until it was pointed out. Um, but also it just felt like mostly a natural, for video essays it felt fine. It was weird. um
Damn.
yeah, so that was like, not to immediately get sidetracked right away, but that was something that happened to me earlier, and I was like, I got to talk about that on the pod. um but anyway, James, let's get into your week. What has your week been like? I know you're a busy bee and you have something directly after this. I don't know if we can talk
Yeah.
about that on the pod.
Yeah. We can talk about it very briefly. So in a similar vein to me playtesting Project Loki, there's another game that I'm playtesting. It's called Project Skies. I
Okay.
haven't read their NDA and stuff, so I'm not gonna say much. Um, but it's cool. At least it looks cool. I haven't played it yet. It could
Oh,
be it
I
could be
thought
terrible, honestly.
I thought when you mentioned the playtesting, I thought it was more Project Loki news. This is a surprise to me.
No, the Project Loki. The playtest was actually earlier this week. It was every day except for today. Funnily enough, it started last Friday, and then it just went through to this Thursday. Uh, but the thing that was different for this one was that it was on European servers, and they were
Hmm.
from the playtests were from 1 to 4 p.m. Instead of the normal time where they would start at like 7 EST, I think, something like that.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, they basically gave the European players who previously couldn't play on their own server like a full week to just like play around at a reasonable time for them as well, instead of at like 3 a.m. their time or whatever, or midnight their time.
So I know you don't know exactly what you're allowed to say, but can you say like what type of game it is?
Project Loki or Project Skies?
Project Skies. It sounds like
It is an
a
extraction
space.
game.
Oh, an extraction shooter.
No, it's not a shooter.
Oh, an extraction in general game.
Yes,
So it's a air hockey competitive extraction game, is what you're saying.
yes, exactly. Thank you for
Peggle extraction.
yes. It's
It's a
actually a
Peggle
Pong
like.
extraction game.
That would be great. Pong extract. Honestly, implementing dumb game mechanics with other mechanics is a slept on category of games.
Yeah.
Uh, there's a game called Peglin. I have not played it yet, but it is Peggle but with RPG elements,
Hmm.
I believe, or like roguelike elements or something. I
Damn, that
think it
sounds
has
sick.
like mixed reviews usually. Um, I think it has positive reviews. Let me look. I think it has, yeah, it has very positive reviews, but when you scroll down, some of them are like, this game is stinky and bad because it's RNG and some other
Damn,
reasons.
I can't believe people think the game smells like poopy butt.
Poopy butt. Yeah, people say, and I quote, this game is poopy butt.
Damn.
But some people like poopy butt. That's
Yeah.
why it's mixed.
It's an acquired taste.
It is funny to me. Have you ever like looked at reviews for a game that are mostly positive, but then you read the reviews and you're like, "Oh, these are like meme reviews or like the people who like this are stupid." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
sometimes.
Also known as go to any anime game on Steam
It's like reverse
or
review bombing.
JRPG. Yeah, well, some all right. So if you have like an adult-rated game or like a anime game with like fan servicey stuff, you'll get a bunch of reviews that are just like emotes of like ass, or like
Oh
you'll get a
no.
thing where it's like this game I could play with one hand. LOL, positive review.
Haha. So funny.
Um, but then but I was looking at a game called I was looking at currently on sale. There's a game called God Eater. It's like anime Monster Hunter apparently.
Oh yeah, that's an
Um,
anime. I'm pretty sure.
and it's also an anime, correct? For right now, the collection for God Eater 2 and 3, and technically 1 because 1's bundled with 2, it's $13. And I'm like, that sounds like a decent deal, especially because they're $60 regularly because they just like don't go, they never drop the price. They're just like they go on sale kind of games.
Hmm.
But all the reviews are like, this game is great. Your protagonist can be your waifu, and I'm like, is it like actually a fun game? And then people are like, if you like this other bad game, then you'll love this. And I'm like, I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know what to believe here because when the positive reviews are talking about how you can make your waifu like jiggle for you on the character creation screen, it kind of turns me off from wanting to play the game. You
Damn.
know?
That's a crazy concept.
Yeah. Uh, Same thing with Code Vein. Are you familiar with Code Vein?
Yeah. I've actually played it before. I played the
So
demo for it.
so I bought that game because even right now it's $9. That game always goes on sale for like nine
Yeah.
dollars or like whatever.
They're always trying
Um,
to get that game off the shelves.
I am, yeah, off the digital shelves.
Yep.
But I'm a little hesitant toward it because it seems stupid. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like,
It seems stupid.
well, the problem is it feels like it's made for like horny teenage boys, right? And
Yeah.
most anime game stuff is, and I feel like I've aged out of that bracket of like the positives of that. You know what I mean? Like in
Yeah.
gameplay, where people are like, "Oh, look, you can make a waifu." It's like I don't care about that. Is it fun? Like that's the question.
It's like I don't do waifu anymore. That's
Yeah,
not who I
no,
am.
it is a weird thing, right? Because
Hmm.
it's like I think there's a lot of positive reviews of both those types of games, and I just don't think the things that are appealing to these people appeal to me, and I might not like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Also, another wild thing is I saw a game on Steam the other day that said it has a giant disclaimer: does not support mouse and keyboard, controller only.
Oh no.
Isn't that wild?
Damn. This is the future. We're a dying
Yeah,
breed.
it was a port. It was some sort of port. And I don't remember what game it was, but it said does not support mouse and keyboard, which is crazy
Yeah.
to me. Um, I'm a hybrid. I will use a mouse and keyboard for certain games, like first person shooters, and then I will use a controller for other games. Um,
Hmm.
But that is we are living in a wild world where you can sell a PC game without support. Um,
Damn.
back in the day, companies like FromSoft would just make their controllers or mouse keyboard support so bad, or like Yakuza, it's like I don't even know if it's so bad. It's just they say at the beginning, like they give you a disclaimer, like use a controller, because the mouse and keyboard is so terrible.
Use a controller, or else. Or else what?
Yeah,
Or else.
yeah, or else you'll have to play this, and you're
Use a
like running
controller,
around.
or you'll be dealt with.
It's like how bad could this be? And it's like control here, use left foot with moving the mouse back and forth. It's like why did they think that was the gameplay? Just right click to move right, left click to move left.
Yes.
Um, James, what is the most cursed like keyboard and mouse control scheme from gaming like you can think of off the top of your head?
Um. Hmm. This
I
is
mhm.
it's not like that cursed, but in Dota by default, I think this was like years ago. They've changed it since, but previously by default, uh, you would use WASD to move your camera. Like so,
I
imagine a
mean,
MOBA, right? You're used to using your mouse. You just use WASD.
I don't. Oh wait, like you had to. You couldn't use your mouse to move the
Yeah, I
camera.
think it was like disabled by default or something. I think it was some
Oh,
accessibility thing they were trying to do.
I think having that. I think WASD as an option to move your camera is fine. But if that was the only way of doing it, that would be annoying.
Yeah, it was
I think
cursed
you're
as
not
hell.
thinking back far enough to when games. If a game uses arrow keys for movement,
Oh yeah,
that's
but
you're in for a
that's
rough
what
time.
they're for.
Arrow
You press the
keys,
up arrow to go up.
up jump, up for jump too is cursed.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm thinking of Maple Story, which I
Oh
actually kind of
god.
like the control scheme, at least back in the day. Like I didn't mind it, but
Hmm.
the control scheme was arrow keys to move, control to attack, like basic attack. I think it
Oh
was
crap.
like alt to jump or something, or
Oh
maybe it was
yeah.
spacebar. No, I think it was like spacebar to jump, and like then you could bind your skill keys to like the numpad or like ASDF through like these other random keys. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day when games just refused to implement the mouse part of mouse and keyboard, that was sick. Just two hands on the keyboard at all times.
Or
Wait,
WASD with JKL. Like,
actually, you remember those like Disney, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon games where they would have like co-op, and it would just be one
yeah,
person on each side of the keyboard.
yeah.
Oh my
One
god, that was
person on
cursed.
IJKL.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Oh man, I remember
Um,
splitting the keyboard with my brother. We would both be pissed because we would have to like literally sit in the same chair.
the have you ever played? Okay, did you ever have the experience where you tried to play one of those games and you had a light bulb idea and you're like, oh, I'll just plug in a second keyboard, and they'll be able to use the other keyboard. Um, and then you realize that keyboards don't work like controllers. You can't just plug in two keyboards.
Man,
It just acts as one keyboard, or it doesn't do anything. I guess, or I don't remember what it does, but it
yeah,
doesn't
no,
work.
I
Is the
never had
moral of
another
the story?
keyboard to try it with.
Yeah, I think I plugged a keyboard into like a laptop, and then it was
Oh,
just like, oh yeah, it's just a keyboard, another keyboard. I was a trackpad gamer for a while because I was on laptops for a lot when I had a computer.
yeah,
Um,
same actually.
I was like, why would I need a mouse? Like I have a trackpad as I play Team Fortress 2 and other first person shooters
Damn,
with a
yeah, I
trackpad.
played TF2 on a trackpad too. I remember it like went free to play, and that was like the first game I played. I played on like or the first Steam game I played, and like I was playing it on my like couch, laid down, using my laptop trackpad.
Yep. And for the kids these days, these aren't those nice ultra wide like multi touch sensor good trackpads. They're like a Toshiba satellite, like the two physical big ass buttons with the
Yeah.
smallest trackpad that just like does not work.
Wait, did you ever have a laptop that like in the middle of the keyboard there was like that little red button?
The
Like,
nub, the
yeah, the
nipple.
nub that you could like use to move around your like cursor.
No, that was like a businessy thing, and like uh I
Yeah.
know people still swear by that, by the way, the
Yeah,
nub.
my dad, he had like he had like laptops from his job, and they all had those, and we like everybody in the family got one. So I was just like sometimes I'd use the nub for Team Fortress 2.
Oh, you were in nub gaming.
Yeah,
It is wild though, like I don't know, playing games back then when you just were so bad. Like there's no chance. And I
yeah,
don't think about it now, but you could be playing a multiplayer game with a person like a child who is just trash. Like no motor skills.
yeah.
I think Fall Guys was the most recent example of that I could see from the games I play. What
Mhm.
you would play Fall Guys, and sometimes the people who wouldn't make it past the first round were literal children, and like you would see them struggle to jump over like a platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, um, I don't know. It is funny though. Like there is an element back like kids. I feel like kids don't really play games like a TF2 anymore, I guess. Well, so I guess the hip games are like the Fortnite and whatever. But like I'm thinking of like an like Overwatch when that came out. I don't think as a
kids don't really play
comparable.
Overwatch anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't really play Overwatch. I don't think.
Yeah, it's actually kind of sad realizing that like kids don't actually play any of the games I play, like at all.
Well,
There's like
that's
zero
fine.
overlap.
I think that is okay because again, you're not the games that are marketed toward kids are not really marketed toward you.
Yeah, but like remember when
Um,
everybody just played Call of Duty?
I think kids play
that's
Call of Duty
that's
still.
such an I mean, yeah, but like I don't. That's such an
Call of Duty's
insane thing to
fun.
think about though. Like you could have a 10-year-old and a 40-year-old dad in the same Call of Duty lobby and they're both playing for the exact same reason.
I think you could still find that mainly on console. I think
Yeah.
also we're in the PC bubble where if you play any PC game, it skews old enough to like it skews old enough to like have a knowledge and want to be a PC game player because console is so easy to just like oh you have a console headset whatever.
Yeah.
I also noticed that like Call of Duty people don't use mics as much. I guess
Yeah.
people don't use mics as much anymore in general. It used to
Mhm.
be every game you have a mic on. Um,
I think
any
also
yeah.
part of the whole PC thing, it might be American culture too cuz I know like in Europe like PC gaming is a little more common, or I guess rather console gaming is less common. It would be a better way to say it. Where it's like, the average gamer is probably more a little more likely to be on PC than in comparison to America.
All right. I'm live adding God Eater trilogy to my cart by the way cuz I looked at it while we were talking. At $13 for 3 games.
Ooh,
It's probably worth checking them out at some point.
yeah,
Anyway, yeah, I agree with you a little bit on that. I don't know about the cultural differences. But I do think the rise of push to talk and not having mics like open mic by default was a thing, and also I think with certain consoles you just had a built-in microphone
yeah.
or like with Connect or something, it would just always be on.
Oh my god, the always on Connect.
Yeah,
That's a
it
memory, man.
just some dad like neglecting their child live on Connect, just being like their child being like I'm hungry, and they're like, "Dude,
Oh
I'm
my
getting one
god.
more game in."
Remember when they announced that, man? They're like, yeah, okay, the Connect it has a webcam and it's always on. What? What do
Xbox,
you
turn
mean?
off. Um, Yeah, wild. But like there's something fun about games that have voice chat. And honestly, I think more games should incorporate voice chat in novel ways. Um I remember playing Gary's Mod a lot and having proximity voice chat
Oh yeah,
in like
proximity
Dark
chat is
RP and stuff.
peak
Proximity
video game.
is the best way to do voice chat because it makes you actually want to like engage with the voice chat. If you can like yell at people,
Yeah.
there's a game, Black Desert, not Black Desert, New World, the Amazon failed horrible game, had proximity voice chat where you in an MMO where you could run around and just yell at people, but you had to turn it on, like you had to opt into it, so like no one had it on.
Yeah.
Um, But the concept of running around in an open world PvP game and yelling at people is so funny. I like it was there again. One of the reasons like that game failed in a bunch of different ways, but like it had cool features. Um,
Hmm.
Most recently, I was playing a game with my friend called it's like We Were There or something. What is this game called? We Were Here. And it's a co-op puzzle game where you're in both. It's first person and you're in two separate areas, and you have to like use in-game voice chat to communicate with each other, like via walkie-talkie, to like tell each other what you're seeing.
Hmm.
Um, Very cool. I think there's a lot of games like that, like Among Us and any game that you it has unique features for voice chat. I hate how some people will just play with Discord. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a game that is designed around proximity or like not being able to hear each other at all times and stuff. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's just like again, I'm a very vanilla like playing the game as it's intended kind of experience. Um,
Yeah. I imagine some people are just like, it's just very default to play Discord because lots of games just have shitty voice chat.
oh yeah, but like when it's a game like Among Us, and you could still do Among Us in like a Discord situation, but like I remember so Among Us was interesting because everyone in the world was playing it, and you didn't have to be like a gamer person, like you didn't have to know the genre or anything. So
Hmm.
I would end up playing with friends of friends, and some of the just worst games, like some of the most unfun experiences of just being like playing with people who would just always have mic on and just being like, "Oh, I just died," like, lol," like, and then it's just like, this is just ruining the game. It's just
Man,
like, just literally, just like, oh, I just saw on their screen they're an imposter. Just like, what are we doing here?
what are we
Uh,
doing here?
People literally being like, "Oh, I was watching like a TikTok, so I didn't see who did it. Uh, I wasn't paying attention." Just like, why are you playing the game? Like, what are I would get so frustrated because it's like if you're not actively playing the game, what are we like genuinely what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that with our friend group sometimes who love to intentionally throw games as a joke?
Yeah,
TM?
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have a friend
it's actually
group.
funny. I have them blocked on Steam right now because every time they play CS2, like at least 3 of them will spam me with invites and I'm like, "I don't even have CS2 downloaded. I'm not interested in CS2. Stop inviting me."
We have the weirdest psychology of a friend group who will play a game like Dota 2, which is like an hour commitment, and they will intentionally play bad as a joke, I guess.
Yeah.
Um I think part of it maybe is like if you play seriously and lose, then you'll feel bad, but if you never tried, then you can't feel bad, I guess.
I
But then
feel like
what are
they
you
could just
doing?
do that in a game where you're meant to not play seriously.
I know, but it's like but they want the stakes. They want the stakes of high thrill, but they don't want to be invested in any way. It's weird. It's a weird way to be about certain
Yeah.
games. It's like why don't we play Call of Duty? Because it's just like fun, and like we've done that. Like why don't we just play something that is like brainless like that? And they're like, well, it's not like it needs to be competitive. It needs to be like big stakes, right? To feel
Yes, it
something.
needs to be competitive so I cannot care.
Yeah, it needs to have stakes so I feel something about it, but I don't want to actually engage in trying.
It needs to have stakes so when team kill my teammates, I know that I did something bad.
Yeah, it needs to have it needs to also have mechanics that let me annoy my teammates as a joke. What if I was to play a game and like in a moment I could win a gunfight, but instead I shoot my teammate in the head? That's funny, I think. After it
Yes.
wouldn't matter as much if the matches in like the average matches of the games they play are like 50 to 40 minutes. Like what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's
Ye-
just odd. Anyway, James, let's talk about your week a little bit. What have you been playing?
yeah, so besides Project Loki, I've played Cyberpunk a little more. Um
Mhm.
so I sorted out my build, all that stuff. I'm cool with that. I started the DLC. So the first thing I noticed, I don't know if I talked about this last week, but they changed what a lot of the guns like do.
Mm.
Like the pistol I was using before, the Death and Taxes, its whole gimmick was that it would fire 2 bullets at once. So it
Hmm.
effectively did double damage and had like double crit chance. But now they made it 2 round burst, and they made each bullet you fire damage you. And so I'm like starting the DLC. I shoot it once. I'm like, what the hell just happened to me? Apparently, its effect is if you get below 25% HP, your bullets have a poison effect. But it's like, oh, I don't want to be actively dying for shooting people. I'm already losing stamina for shooting. Please stop.
I
Um,
bet that would pair well with one of the implants. There's like berserk mode, which I've been using. There's two versions of it for
yeah.
one's for body, one's for like reflexes or whatever. That you can't drop under a certain amount of health, and you just have infinite stamina. I think.
Hmm.
Um, I too have been playing Cyberpunk. I have not got to the DLC yet because I've just been. I basically did all of the. I'm in the main story right now, but I pretty much did all the side quests and did like a ton of side content.
Hmm.
But so you're like in the thick of the DLC though right now.
Yeah, not too far into it. Like, I'm trying to think, maybe like a few hours in. I would say.
Okay.
I don't know how long the DLC is exactly, but yeah, it's pretty fun so far though. I like the character and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I met Idris Elba. That
Oh,
was
he's
cool.
in. Okay. So I know literally nothing about the DLC. Like I know nothing about anything about the characters or anything.
Yeah, so he was in like a bunch of the trailers and stuff, and they used him like for advertising a lot. Like there was this one trailer where it was like a live action trailer, and at the end they said, "Just remember, the game is fixed." I'm like, and I was like, "Damn,
Wow, that's a double entendre of
yeah,
amazing meaning.
yeah, that was a
Um,
that was a banger." But but yeah, so it's like Idris Elba just shows up, and we're like, "Oh my god, it's the guy! I know him."
how do you like this trend of actual celebrity in video game
If
as
they
a
can voice
character?
act, it's fine. Actually, this reminds me, Mortal Kombat One. So
Yep.
I don't really play Mortal Kombat games that much because I used to be really into fighting games, but like I just don't play them much anymore. So when the Mortal Kombat games come out, they have good stories. I usually watch like one of the walkthroughs or something like that. It's fun. I just want to know what's going on with the Mortal Kombat story. And Megan Fox voices a character in that game, and it is horrendous.
Oh, I heard about this.
Oh my lord, I can't believe they let that into the final game.
Is it as bad as have you seen the I think it's like NBA 2K when they
Yeah,
got actual players to voice
yeah,
the characters and it's just like you're going to do great, kid. Like you're going to be the best. Like record it like on an
yeah,
iPhone.
yeah. She's super monotone. The audio quality isn't good. The only thing that makes it better, I would say, is that the script is better generally.
Hmm.
But her delivery is just awful. It's so
So
bad.
I'm not going to fact check this at all, but I heard on another piece of media or podcast that she did not record any of the
Yeah, her like grunts and stuff.
the grunts or hit sounds or
Yeah,
I forget what those are called. Effort noises or something.
yeah. That's true. They got an actual voice actor to do it, but they didn't get an actual voice actor for the character.
Very cool.
I don't know. Remember like the Keanu Reeves Renaissance and how it was cool. I feel like we're
Mhm.
starting a Megan Fox Renaissance, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I've heard the name Megan Fox like more than I have in a decade since like Transformers when she like looked at a truck or something. I don't know. I haven't seen
Yeah,
those
like
movies.
she was in like the Diablo advertisement too. That
Diablo.
one was fine actually.
Oh
Given it
man.
was a little weird, like the whole idea was like, yeah, enter this for a chance to have Megan Fox commentate your clip. And it's like, well, okay, I don't really want that.
What's
What am I?
wild to me is that
What's the
you're
target
watching these
audiences?
video game ads. Like I didn't even like consume any of that content
It's
ever.
usually because they're sent to me. I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest.
there you go.
It's not, it's not like I'm going out and searching for them necessarily. But but yeah. Anyway, Cyberpunk, something that I don't hate. So yeah, I got my build together, did some of the DLC. was really cool. I did another ending actually because
Oh, interesting.
so the first ending I did was like the whole guns blazing, like just run in there and kill people thing.
Hmm.
And this one was the one that you do with Rogue,
Oh,
I
by
think.
the way, spoilers for Cyberpunk's main story.
Don't worry, I'm keeping it very spoiler. What's the
Neutral.
word? Neutral. Yeah, I did the one you do with Rogue. It was cool.
Yep.
I liked it. I actually surprisingly liked it a little better.
Hmm.
Mainly because there's just another character involved. Like the one I did originally, it's good for action. Like it's definitely probably the hardest. I think it's the hardest mission in the game. It's good to just like kill a lot of things, but yeah. And then there was a choice at the end that I think you get in most endings. I did the opposite one, and I actually think it was cooler than the original one I did, so I'm glad I did it. But the
Hmm.
reason I did the other ending was because the gun you get from it, it's called Pride, and it's apparently the best pistol because it's like guaranteed to crit on your first hit or something like that.
Yep.
And I needed to replace my death in taxes because my gun was killing me. It's actually that's actually so meta for Cyberpunk
Yeah.
because because if he has the thing in their head killing them, and now I've got a gun killing me. Oh man, but yeah, uh, yeah, everything's been good so far. DLC's good. I got a car that has like guns on it now.
Oh no. Oh yeah. They added like a lot of vehicle combat that I don't care about.
Yeah, somehow it's so I know that like there's a way to get a like aim assist or whatever or like a lock on with vehicle combat. I don't know how you do it, so
Oh,
I'm kind of it's
probably
kind
a
of hard.
skill.
I don't think it's a
Maybe it's.
skill actually. I think it's like a setting, but I don't know. I have no
Oh,
clue.
weird.
But either
Uh,
way, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to aim, but it's fun. Somehow the vehicle I got is faster than my previous fastest car, but it's like a military vehicle with like machine guns on the front and stuff.
don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm gonna be honest. They just said, yeah, let's let it just make it faster, make it zoom.
So I did the Pan Am ending, and I am
Pog.
doing that again, basically, because I'm pretty much replaying the entire game with the choices that I had originally made, except
Hmm.
I did the hacking and it was so awful and bad, and I wanted to re-experience the game anyway, and I did the melee build and it's actually fun.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it turns out doing big body melee and running around literally just like comedically strong. Like there's so many dialogue prompts in side quests where if you have like max body, you can just
yeah.
like people will try to rob you and you literally just like look at them and just
You
like
say
be like
no.
no, you literally just like you just have lines where it's like, do you literally like I've killed like hundreds of people up until this point
I
that
have
are
killed
like super
hundreds of people with
soldiers.
this bicep alone. Do not try it.
No, literally your character's like look at these implants that I have right now because I'm also doing like the max like I have like full implants. I'm doing
Hmm.
tech body. And you're just like bro, like there's so many arguments that you don't even diffuse with violence. You just like give credible threats, and people just back off. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Speaking of builds, I actually noticed with the level cap increase. So I was thinking like, oh, I'll do so many cool new builds because I'll have all these. Ironically, I'll have more points in cool because my previous build was body, reflex, and tech. Because everybody needs tech.
Yep.
Body's cool, and reflex lets me use a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I did that. I got a few levels up, and I started putting more points in cool. And then I realized I look at the skills. I'm like, wait, I don't actually like want this stuff over the stuff that's already in my skill trees. So I just kind of
Mm-hmm.
have points in cool just because like there's nowhere else to put it. Like I'm not
See,
I'm not doing any like intelligent stuff.
you're a quality build person. I think you're like a I want to use a gun. I want to use a sword. I am like ride or die in pretty much any game. I'm like, okay, if I want to do blunt weapon, I'm gonna use only blunt weapons,
Yeah, yeah,
max out my body tree, and then max out some of the tech stuff, then max out or then get some like reflex stuff, you know.
yeah,
Um I think you could do some of the grenade slash health items on the tech tree. Like that's not like that's I feel like that's just neutral and like fine for anyone.
yeah. I got some of those. So like I initially wanted to do just like a pure bodybuild or something, but then I realized like, well, I don't really have like I might as well put my points in these things. There's not really anything else to do with them.
Hmm. Well, we talked about that. I think did we talk about this last time? How there's like no iconic blunt weapons like in the game. There's like
Yeah.
four.
There's like
Yeah.
Sasquatch's hammer, but you can't sprint with it, so you can't use like a lot of the cool stuff that you would normally be able to use with blunt weapons.
Oh, I just realized that like I defeated that character and I don't think I got their hammer. I don't know if that's how you get it.
You can buy it later. Uh,
Okay, from the
no
black market
spoilers, but
stuff.
early in the DLC, there's a guy, like a
Yeah.
vendor, and you can buy it for like 110k euros, I think, or
Okay.
eddies, whatever they're called, money.
Yeah, the thing I have infinity of from blinking in this game.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I saw. Well, there's actually a tooltip on the loading screen that's like, if you miss an iconic weapon, buy it at the black market. So,
Hmm.
um,
Okay,
yeah,
that
all right,
actually
that's good.
that must have been a black market guy. Then that explains it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's weird because I like killed that character, and I'm like, they have a giant sledgehammer. I would assume that's a weapon I could pick up, and they like drop like a gun. I'm like, what? Okay, that's weird.
Damn.
Um, Anyway, I was rocking. So for the entirety of the game, I was using my fists, the gorilla arms, and then I was using a bat that was like a level 1 bat. And then I finally like got a sledgehammer that I crafted that was like level 3. Then I got like a level 4 sledgehammer, and this is like 20 something hours in. I've gotten like one weapon that's good. And then
Hmm.
just recently, I mean, I technically would have gotten this sooner if I did the do you know the Evelyn like kind of quests where you go to Skinny Boy Fingers? You go
Yeah.
to that guy. He has a blunt weapon. So I could have gotten that way earlier in the game if I did that quest first.
Hmm.
But that was the he drops like a pimp cane thing that is like an iconic blunt weapon that does like a bunch of like it's really fast. It does electric, does like poison. It's kind of stupid. Um but it's like that is the first iconic blunt weapon I've gotten the entire game. And
Damn.
the other one, like you said, there's the sledgehammer. Then there's the Witcher meme item, which you can't even get until New Game Plus. So there's a shovel in the game you can get. That's like one of the best, I guess, one of the best weapons in the game, or like is very, very, very good. But it's a
Hmm.
joke item that you can't get until New Game Plus or whatever, or you beat the game, rather.
Damn.
Um, I literally think there is four. Maybe without the deal, like without counting the DLC, I think there is actually four blunt iconic weapons.
Yeah.
And then me over here, I literally have like a dozen iconic katanas in my inventory. I'm like, man, that's cool.
Yep.
It could have maybe they could have added some more blunt weapons. I don't know.
Yeah. Some more blunt weapon love would have been great.
I think it might be because blunt weapons like are ridiculously strong, and if you have the iconic like just the one iconic thing I have combined with the skills that I've got, it's just so strong. I'm playing on hard, which is not the hardest
Yeah.
difficulty, but there's no challenge at all. I'm just like one shotting everything.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but I do the exact same thing with a sword, and they have like bleed and all that kind of stuff with them too, and like they can lunge really far.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. I feel like having more iconic blunt weapons wouldn't throw the balance out of whack too much.
See, I don't think it would either. Like, it would be nice. I think maybe they just couldn't think of. Let me fact check this real quick. Maybe they just couldn't think of other because there's only like the bat and the sledgehammer and the club
Yeah, I mean,
basically
like they could have done
archetype.
like an electric baseball bat, like a barbed wire baseball bat
I
for
think there
Walking
is
Dead
a. I think there is
reference.
like a spiky bat. I think that's one of the iconic weapons.
Damn.
Let me look up blunt iconic. They should have had a giant blunt, dude. That would be so epic.
Oh my god. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have a.
Okay, I might
Where
have
is it?
lied. There might actually be a ton of them. And wait a minute.
All
I
right, I
may
can
have
get it. Let's
lied.
see.
One second. I did look at like a top list of them that I think only listed like. Oh wait, no, I didn't lie. I'm looking at it right now. There are one, two, three, four, five, six iconic blunt weapons.
Hey, I'm
Um,
checking myself.
One of them is the caretaker spade, which is like the Witcher item that is like a you get later. Like that is like it's apparently really good, but it's like you can't even get that like early on. Then there's the cottonmouth, which I have currently. It's like the cane. And then there's pretty much the other like there's like a couple of them that are just like dick joke items. Um
Hmm.
One of them is a giant Saints Row 3 reference if you
Yeah.
catch my drift. When did you get this? Cuz it's only a rank 2.
So
What?
now that I'm really looking at this, can we even consider Caretaker's Spade and uh and Sasquatch Hammer to be real iconic weapons? The only thing they do is they make you worse.
Well, I don't know. Like the care. No, I think the caretaker spade is supposed to be really good because it has like some weird bleed, some other effect, like hidden effect or something. I don't know.
Oh no, I just thought the stats would be good or something.
I think it has some weird hit. I looked at a list and it was like, this is the best weapon, Earth. One the big Saints Row comedy reference. You can't even get this item. I guess I could buy it, like I said, at that like thing that I missed. You can't even get this unless you side with the stout, who I think is the stupid like yeah, it's that lady who remember when you get to meet like the people in the game where they're like the oh my god, what are they like the people who have the implants in that, and it's the very beginning. There's the robot Jackie's there, and he's like it's the one segment of the game that has like the illusion of choice
Oh
where you have
yeah,
like
yeah,
there's
yeah. I
so
know
many
what you're
ways
talking
of
about.
solving this.
Yeah,
um yeah, so I guess you have to side with her, which who does that, and then you have a side quest where you can get it. But I didn't do that because who does that?
yeah.
Um,
there's some really good items that are locked behind some psychotic choices.
yeah, I what the hell? No, what is obnoxious is I totally killed the person that's supposed to drop his hammer, and I just didn't see it. I don't know. I looked for it. I
Man,
whatever.
yeah, that's probably why one of the most popular mods is literally just modding guns into your game or modding gear into your game.
It does a lot of damage, but like then again, the weapon I have right now is like a multi hit. I don't know. That's really obnoxious. I could
Man,
reload that save, I guess. I don't know how far back that would be, but I can go buy it later or something. I don't know. Yeah, the one thing about the iconic stuff too is all of these like iconic things are like hidden behind random things that you might just not do for a while.
yeah,
Um, Strange.
odd.
Sorry, I'm just like I just fell down the rabbit hole of being like, man, this is stupid. Um,
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Did you so on that first choice? This is like minor spoilers because it's very early on. But like, what do you do for that first choice with the robot? Like, what's your go to on that?
I don't even remember, man.
Do you side with the I Brick and the whole thing and Brick and the other guy? And I always go full on like on their side. Like I free Brick. I help out the people, and I usually like hang out with them and whatever the
Hmm.
Maelstrom people.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, there's a cool thing in the game. If you help them, they show up later. And it's neat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like.
Anyway,
I think
that
maybe I didn't help them because I think you
yeah.
get the that pistol if you help them, the Doom.
Who knows? You just get random. This game just gives you random garbage all the time. It's just like here's the best. It's the best weapon, but you have to shoot your dog, and you
Yes.
get the dog killer's pistol. Uh,
And if you have the pistol out in public, people will randomly try to beat you up.
Did we talk about how when you play this game with like density population on for NPCs, you just see the same child model like 15 times next to each other?
Yeah, I think we talked about that last week.
But still relevant. Still breaks the immersion a little bit.
Yeah. I oh yeah, actually speaking of like graphic settings, I was trying to get DLSS working this week and like from
Hmm.
what I can tell it's just hard locked behind having a 40 series. Like I
Yeah,
tried like literally everything.
there's probably like a way to do it with like a third party like tool or something. But
Yeah.
other than that, yeah.
It's just kind of sad. Permanently like 100 frames or lower.
I'm looking at the
Unfortunate.
I'm looking at the again, still looking at the Cyberpunk wiki, and you know what? I'm looking at blades, and they're like, there's actually not that many that are like iconic. But I feel like that's not true. I feel like this is lying to me, or maybe I just have
Uh
every iconic katana like
yeah,
at
let me
once
look
right
it up.
now.
Let me
Well, I'm
open
looking.
the
It doesn't
page up
seem like
again.
that many more. It actually doesn't seem like there's that many iconic weapons in general in the game. Is there only two iconic shotguns? No, but wait, okay. I'm also on the
There's like
wiki.
6 iconic blades.
Yeah, I'm also on the wiki, and some people are like, they just forgot to put certain weapons here too. So I don't know what this wiki's Cyberpunk wiki. I don't know what's going on with
Yeah,
you.
okay, let me give it a solid count. So I'm just speaking for katanas, right? There's one, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 katanas. Um, then for just general blunt weapons, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 of each. But the blunt weapons, lots of them have effects that are just like, yeah, your stats are worse, but this does damage.
Hmm. Sorry, I'm like extra annoying or extra annoyed right now. I guess I'm also annoying. I'm extra
Damn.
annoyed right now because I'm reading like how did I not get this hammer, and then it's just apparently you have to like grab the hammer or earlier, or I guess you can steal it during the quest, or she's supposed to randomly lost it. Yeah, she randomly lost it during the fight too. What is this? I guess is it not an iconic? I don't. You know what? This game is bad. The game 0 out of 10. It's a 0 out of 10 now. It is. I don't know what happened.
Damn, I guess. Yeah, it happens. It be like
Honestly,
that
though,
sometimes.
the weapon I have right now is pretty good. I think it honestly is probably better than this hammer because the damage is lower, but the DPS is way higher.
Hmm.
Um, let's stop talking about the cyberpunk because
Yeah.
now I'm just like heated about this stupid hammer.
And we talked about Cyberpunk until we got angry.
Yeah. Well, okay. I was always on Team Cyberpunk side, even when like it came out and everyone was like shitting on it. I always still enjoyed it and knew it would someday be good, and now everyone loves it. So, but
Man.
um, oh, I watched the Cyberpunk anime Edge Runners, by the way, in
Pog.
preparation to play this. So now I am, minor spoilers, running around with the jacket in the game. You know, the jacket. That's
Yeah.
my cosmetic. I really thought that tie-in was going to be more fleshed out.
Yeah,
To be
it was.
honest,
Yeah. Well, huh. Yeah, I agree. It being more
but
fleshed out would have been nice.
I guess how do you have anime characters in the realistic art style of the game? So,
Yeah. I was kind of sad that you just text one of them and it's like, damn.
and it's friggin'
Show
Matt
up, please.
Mercer. You text the driver who's just Matt Mercer.
Man, the driver, the one who was barely in the show.
Yeah, the one who they like show up and he's like, "It's me, Matt Mercer, the best character," and everyone's like, "Oh, Matt Mercer, you've always been here." He's like, "Yep, good old
Yeah.
me.
And
I was
you're a robotic arm, fancy mustache cowboy dude. You're totally not Cassidy from Overwatch.
Oh, it's me, Cassidy. It's me, Jotaro from the English dub."
Oh my god.
Matt Mercer just has the same voice for every character in everything.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a bad voice, but it's just funny because it's just like it's the same voice for
man.
every character, and all I can think of is just McCree slash Cassidy. All I can think of is Cassidy. Um, yeah. So I watched that. That was really okay. In the moment, it's one of those shows where moment to moment you're like, "This is great," and then you think about it, and you're like, "Okay, this was still great artistically. I liked the music. I liked the everything. I really liked how it looked and stuff. But the story is kind of whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's a trigger anime. It's always like that.
Yeah, no, it's really good, but it's like okay, it's a little like melodramatic and it's kind
Yeah.
of stupid.
Well,
like it,
think about it this way. At least they didn't do aliens this time.
hot. He's so hot blooded and cool, and ideals. I feel like words like hot blooded, cool, ideals
Yeah. Oh my
are
god, he's
thrown
so
around.
cool. All the women like him, even though he's a minor.
Yeah, well, he's seven. I think he ages by the end. I think there's a time skip.
I think the funny thing is, I actually heard the time skip wasn't that long. Like it was only a couple months.
Yeah, but he was 17, so maybe it was enough to like time skip him to being 18 to make it less uncomfortable. We also don't
Yeah.
know how old that the sad girl is because he asked and he's like, how old are you, and she's like, ha ha ha, 40. um she doesn't say it, but I feel like she's like 30
Yeah,
or
the
something.
wiki says around 20.
Yeah, she's
Okay, the
older.
source says David was 17 at first and
He
18
says
later.
that,
Lucy
yeah.
is around 20, just like Becca Main, late 30s, just like Dorio and. This isn't a sentence. What?
um
It's not a sentence.
but it was cool. I really liked the musics and whatnot. Now I get hit with the feels when I hear they I didn't realize they put the sad girl anthem song. It was is in the game, the one where I don't even remember how it goes. It's just kind of like it's called like I want you in my room or something. It's just like sad I don't even know I really
Yeah,
don't
they
remember how it
really
goes.
spammed that song. Like I watched the anime before I played Cyberpunk, so I didn't realize. But it's like, damn, they just really chose a song from the game and they just spammed it. And
Yeah,
that's not the only example. There are a few, but like, damn.
I was in Fingers Clinic and that was on the radio and I'm like this is mixed emotions right now
Yeah.
as I'm beating him down. I'm glad they patched in. So apparently, it was actually a choice back in the day because Ripper Docs had different inventories. So you did technically you didn't want to kill him because he had a really good implant.
Yeah, that
But
happened to
now it
me.
doesn't matter. So you could beat him down. Who cares?
Yep.
So I didn't even like get the lore this time. I just punched him. Like, I didn't even remember why. Like I mean, he was obviously shitty, but like I don't remember the extent of how shitty he was. I just like punched him, and I didn't think he would die after two punches. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
pretty weak.
he's pretty weak, but also my character did have like gorilla arm, like psycho. I do really like my again minor spoilers for game and anime. I've done the tech tree to get to like the cyber psychosis level where like every so often you can enter like a rage.
Yeah, I did
Um
that too. It's really fun.
Yeah. So it is really also another really cool thing is like the cop system in this game being real instead of what it was. Still kind of stupid and like a tie over from like GTA. Like who actually
Yeah.
cares about whatever?
I kind of hate that if you look at the cops for too long, they just start shooting you.
It's
I
realistic.
guess it's realistic, but also at the same time, like, damn. Like, I'm
I mean,
sorry I went AFK for a second while I was happened to be looking at you.
I guess if you think about it, like you can scan people with your eyes and it shows you their crimes. I bet they probably could scan you and like see like you're wanted for like 100 things.
Damn. I think one of
Um,
my favorite experiences with the new cops is I rammed somebody's car like repeatedly, like 15 times or something before they died, and they didn't get on my ass about it until they died. Did absolutely nothing to stop the crime. They just came there after the person was dead and said, "Hey, you can't do that."
one of my favorite things is fighting them, and then if you get them high enough, Max Tech will come, and I'm like, it's
Yeah.
like the anime, and
Oh my
I'm
god.
fighting Max Tech, and they all are like. The cool thing about Max Tech is like they're all like named boss type characters that have like
Yeah.
crazy moves and stuff. And I honestly think they cheat because I was like killing them still, and I think they like respawn, like got their health back or like respawned or something because it is meant to just stop you. But I was fighting them
Hmm.
and holding my own. I'm like, this is cool. It's like the anime, and I also like when you run around and people are like, it's a cyber psycho. It's because you're like you have all the implants and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I feel like I'm the
Yeah.
cool guy.
Yeah, I'm a cool
Um,
guy for being a mentally ill implant addict.
I think no, like that was a criticism a lot of people had, and I do think it is a valid criticism that you're not allowed to make V. You're not allowed to really change V's appearance to be like crazy body mod, even though you have like a million implants. Um, I also think that like pretty much a big complaint was everyone in the universe is way cooler looking than you. Like everyone gets to be
Yeah.
cooler than you. Um, and I get it from a modeling standpoint of how you make the model and stuff, and like doing whatever. Uh, but I want to have it. Why can't I look cool too? I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So that kind of took us to. That kind of took us to time. We can talk about. We could go into questions. If you have a question, you can email us at hyeppodcast@gmail.com. That's hyeppodcast@gmail.com. But I might have a question for you because it's based on something I might do. Um,
Okay.
I might try to play the Rune Factory games again, starting with 3 at this point because it's on Steam now. 3 special. Have you ever
Hmm.
played any Harvest Moon, Stardew, Runecraft, cozy farm-like type games?
No, but I actually have a funny short story about that. One of my friends, who's like a not like a therapist, but they know about like a bunch of therapist adjacent stuff. They said like I was telling them like, yeah, I'm kind of bored of all my games right now, and they said like, you're frying your brain by playing all these like turbo dopamine games. I'm like, maybe I am. And he's like, yeah, you're never gonna be able to play Stardew Valley like me. And I'm like, damn, maybe I have ruined my life.
I, I I think there is. I wanted to like shit on that, but I think there is actually something to that a little bit
Yeah, kind of.
because at least with like, I mean, well, definitely with games, like there's definitely like fries your dopamine, like especially if you play like a game like RuneScape or something where it's literally just like, oh, big drop, oh, big like that stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but something about like I can't sit still and play like a Stardew without being stressed that I'm not min maxing every day.
yeah.
Um, I I've played the people who play those games and who are more into like casual gaming can just go around and be like, "Oh, I just watered my plant today. Like I'm gonna go fishing today," and I'm like, "It's suboptimal. I need to go to the mine now. Mine that. Go give everyone a gift. I got to give everyone on my list their most liked item today. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah,
Um, but there is a thing about these games. Like, I think Stardew doesn't actually have this anymore, or doesn't have this system. But some of the older like Harvest Moon and or like Rune Factory games had things that if you didn't do them, characters could die or like they would never come back or you could fail. Like there's things that's like time sensitive that you wouldn't know about.
yeah.
Um, and I'm a very like I don't want to miss content. I don't want to miss this thing. Hence why we talked about the sledgehammer for 40 minutes.
Hmm.
Um, I don't want to miss out on this content. So I want to look up a guide on everything. And then sometimes if you read a whole like playthrough guide on how to play the game, you're not really having fun,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Big agree.
Um I don't know, has there ever been a game like that where you've tried to just go in with no expectation, no like read it or no like research, just like go in and try, like fail and try.
Yeah, I did that with Cyberpunk, and then I realized that I was locked out of getting the Doom. Unironically,
Yeah.
like I'd seen on Reddit, like I checked Reddit for because I had like a bug or something like that, and I need to ask yeah, Reddit, is my save cooked? And while I was on Reddit, I just checked, and they were
Let him
like,
cook. Let him cook.
yeah, this is the Doom. This gun's really cool. I'm like, oh my god, I want it. And then I looked in the comments, and they're like, yeah, if you didn't side with this guy, you can't get it ever. I'm like,
Oh my
oh
god.
well,
At least now you can with the new system. That's great they added that. But you have to get to the DLC first, which is a little
yep.
silly, but whatever. I mean, I'm glad they added that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's like see that's like a big reason. There's certain things like that. I think the worst offender is games that you have skills you can't respec and you can't get all of them,
Yeah.
which is not really a thing anymore, thankfully. Um, Also games that have a thing where like I think The Witcher 2 does this, and fair enough for The Witcher 2, but there are side quests that if you don't like this kind of froze me from playing The Witcher 2.
Hmm.
I wanted to complete every single side quest in the area before moving on with the story, and if you don't, then you just don't get to do them.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. I think all content should be not missable in games unless it's designed to be like a multi play it through experience. Um, but like I don't know. There are certain things like that where there'll be games where there's collectibles. There's 100 collectibles in the game, but if you don't get the collectible on this level, like Kingdom Hearts, the original releases of Kingdom Hearts, either one or two, had a collectible, and this was kind of a bug. But during the Oogie Boogie fight in Nightmare Before
Oogie
Christmas,
boogie.
if you didn't do the Trinity mark during the boss fight, you could never do it and never get 100% completion in that game. They fixed that later in like the new version of it, like the
Hmm.
re-releases. But I mean, I think that was an oversight. But things like that is just like, even if you don't want to go for 100%, the fact that you're locked out of it is like infuriating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate that stuff. Do you have any other? Do you have like pet peeves in games that you just can't deal with, like using like consumables or something like that? Are you like one of those people who just can't use
Yeah, I don't
consumables?
really use consumables in Cyberpunk. Whenever I see them on the ground, I just eat or drink them because it's like.
I
And then if I have some in my inventory, I just sell them.
I do have a full inventory full of like consumables. I just don't even think about
Damn.
in Cyberpunk. Not because of the I don't want to lose this, just because they're like not very useful.
Yeah, I was thinking the same because it's like plus 10% max health or something. It's like, well, I can just use it, but like, what? It
Yeah,
barely does anything. Like, or like the
I
plus
think
5% stamina regen. Like, I'll literally never notice this.
I think it's just for lore, like for role play purposes. You can just oh, it's like I drank a beer. Like I did that in the game. Like I bought like the Jackie Wells drink, and I'm like I drank that. I'm like great.
Yeah, I will say, out of all like the RPGs I've played, Cyberpunk role playing in Cyberpunk is probably like the most, I guess, supported. I don't know
Hmm.
how else to describe it. It feels like it's very easy to get immersed in your role in that game.
Yeah, like I'm doing a melee build, and technically pretty much every mission I do. Also, I didn't realize this until I started doing a melee build, but like every main story mission in Cyberpunk is just a stealth mission,
Yeah, pretty
which
much.
by design, the reason they do that is I believe is because if you're doing a sneaking build, then you wouldn't have fun like the whole game if you couldn't
Yeah,
do it.
it also
Um,
just gives people options. Like you can always
yeah,
like say like, oh, I feel like being stealthy this time.
They don't penalize you like at all if you're not
Yeah.
stealthy. There are some missions that you actually get different endings and different content for
Oh,
not being
actually,
stealthy or being
not like
stealthy.
a real spoiler, but like kind of like spoiler for the DLC. There's one mission where like they basically say like, yeah, you should probably be stealthier. I don't like when things get bloody. And like if
Hmm.
you're not stealthy, they just kind of yell at you like, hey, you're mean. Why are you doing this? It was just really funny because I'm like, that's it. There's no real consequence. You just told me if I'm loud, then it's over.
Well, it's just because like if you're not kitted for stealth, you're not gonna have fun. Like they had to do it like that.
Yeah.
Um, but I do feel this like super like impulse to go stealthy for the most part because the in universe implication is always weird if you're not stealthy because it'll be like V, you have to sneak into this base. It is critical that we're quiet. Like you need to go in quiet, and you don't have to, but it feels like I did the thing with the parade. Before the parade, I didn't sneak. I just went loud, and like the entire security forces alert it, and everything goes on lockdown. But they still do everything. Like they have to come up with the in universe excuses for why they're still like doing the parade and doing stuff. And it's like, oh, that's kind of lame, you know.
Yeah.
It feels like you should have been stealthy there. It would have made more sense.
Yeah. I also
Um,
think maybe they just kind of said screw it, and we're not going to care about the consistency of something. Because I was just thinking for a second, V like handily beating Adam Smasher is kind of crazy.
it is
If you
insane,
really sit
right?
down and think about it.
If you think about it, what's gonna be more insane is I'm going to beat him with a literal bat to death.
Yeah.
Um, okay, in my first playthrough, I was at least hacking, and I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense because like maybe I like just fried. I was so good at hacking. He's just machinery, it's just fried. You know what I mean? But I'm going to physically beat Adam Smasher with like my fists, and yeah, and Adam Smasher canonically just like destroys everyone
Yeah.
just
He's just
constantly.
built. literally built different.
Oh, there is, by the way, we're over time now, but like, there is a literal line in the Cyberpunk anime where I think David says, "I'm built different," and
Yeah.
it's really funny.
I guess I'm just built different.
He literally says that. I'm just built
David, no,
different.
don't replace your forehead with the cyber forehead. I'm built different.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really need those like additional gun arms. He could have been fine, to be
Okay, but they were
honest.
cool.
It was cool,
And he can
but
take it. He knows what he's doing. He's built different.
yeah, he really did think he was built different,
He
and
literally hit
like
the self trust me, bro.
I also really enjoy the fact that a lot of I think a majority of the conflict between him and Lucy could have been explained by them having an adult conversation like human beings. She's like,
Yeah,
I just need
yeah,
a
you know,
little more time.
I
I'm
feel like
not
that's
gonna
great. I feel like
cry.
that's a pattern in fictional relationships.
He could have just they could have just been like, oh, I'm doing whatever, and then Gustavo Fring gets it dirty.
Man,
Shout outs to um oh, what's his name? Giancarlo or so. Oh god, I'm gonna say it
Giancarlo
wrong.
Esposito.
Despacito too. Yes.
Yes.
Esposito being honestly great in everything, but playing the
Yeah.
villain, just playing like the villain in
Yeah, who would
everything.
have thought an actor that can also do voice acting?
He's really funny as Lex Luthor in the Harley Quinn animated show. He's a very funny Lex Luthor.
Damn.
Um. Anyway, this is let's end. We're gonna keep like rambling here. Let's end the pod now because it's a little overtime. All right. I've been
Yes.
Matt, aka Matt Fondude, and who have you been?
I've been James, aka James04E, and I have a bunch of promiscuous remixes in my YouTube recommended.
Promiscuous girl.